Well, thanks for that. We've done the background there. Can you tell us about the current training operation? When did it all start?
October 2006. It was the first season we started training, and I was called Princeton D. Was my first winner at Taunton. And Belinda wasn't here to celebrate it because she was skiing in St Anton.
She's random. I've not been away for a holiday before. He's painting me badly there. But anyway, the guys that we met in St Anton have since become owners 10 years later, so it was worth going.
So how many horses did you start with when you, the first day you started training?
It was just those two. It was just Bosun's Mate and Prince Dundee, surely.
Must have been.
Maybe a couple of pointers.
And there's Palmer's Peak, and we probably had about 8 horses,
we did,
I would say.
Yeah, we did have a few pointers.
Yeah, so similar points we were training and then went into real. So it wasn't many, it'd have been 10 at the most.
And sort of Prince Dundee and Bosun's Mate were on the downgrade, and it was struggling along with a few that we were trying to patch up from other people, and a few cheap and cheerfuls, and
then they were just lucky, and we had some good people set to back us very early on, and we haven't missed a year without having a Cheltenham winner, which is just...
Since our first winner in 2009.
So from 2009 we haven't missed a year without a Cheltenham winner.
So it was only 3 years till our first Cheltenham winner, and it's just been so kind to us, hasn't it, Cheltenham? Yeah. It's our luckiest track.
So the likes of Champion Court, he really got us on the map, and
Ben Bainhead was our first winner.
Ben Bainhead was my first Cheltenham winner. Warren Marsden rode that, and that was never forget that day. And I used to ride Ben Bainhead out as well every day, so it was even more special. And the likes of him and the Champion Court, your Creepers, all won graded races at Cheltenham, and just got more people involved in the yard, and it really started to take off.
So fast forward to 2018, how many horses and staff have you got here now?
We would have, what would we have, about 8 full-timers?
No, we've got 11 full-timers now.
Well,
yeah, I didn't know whether you're going to go horses, because you know how many horses we've got.
Right.
We've got 11 full-timers, and we're actually looking for another couple of members of staff, because we've got 3 or 4 horses that are waiting to come in at the moment. So we're
heading towards 50, aren't we? Which is fantastic, and it's a good number. I wouldn't want to get massive and train 100 horses, and I'm not interested in being champion trainer. I just like to build up the quality and go to your big meetings on Saturdays, and obviously focus on the Cheltenham Festival and the other big festivals end of the season.
And even going across to Ireland, our chairman's just been to the Leopardstown Festival, and there's some big prizes to be won in Ireland. You've just got to, and I think we've just got to, there's good fun to be had as well, and some good prize money, and might pick up a race. Got to think about that a bit more as well.
We're going across to France. We took Any Currency over to France for a big cross country race, and he was unlucky. He nearly got brought down there, but he still finished a very good third and picked up amazing prize money just for place money. So it's definitely worth thinking about. Going to Ireland and France as well with some of these nice horses.
So it's obviously a career that you both thoroughly enjoy. What would be the best part of being a racehorse trainer?
As you can imagine, it's very up and down sport. When things are going well, it's absolutely amazing.
Giving people winners and magical days, making dreams come true for people is amazing.
You can't describe the feeling, especially Cheltenham winners. You can't describe the feeling to owners what haven't been involved in that. You need to have it, and it's just
even other meetings. I think it's such an achievement to get a winner anywhere, and just we all love it. The whole team loves it, and I think even at the smaller meetings, winners. Perhaps it's sometimes more competitive at the lower grade. Just to get a horse there on the day, the whole team to get it there in top shape, and Martin to have selected the right race, and the jockey to have ridden to orders, or all of it. Amazing. That is fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you sort of select the races yourself? Do you put a lot of work in looking at form and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm always looking at programme book. I've got a good lad in the yard who who looks through as well, and we have a chat and go through the races together and make a plan. And most options will have a good few options, and then make a few entries and go through the races and try and choose the right one. But it's all about placing the horses as well as possible to get more wins out of them.
Keep yourself in the best company and your horses in the worst company, they say. But Martin
But then
doesn't.
you got to be brave sometimes,
Yeah,
and
you have.
you got to throw them in the deep
We've
end.
definitely had some Cheltenham winners that
and it
people
can pay
have
off.
been surprised that we've
like
won
Sir
them.
Champion Court, his first ever hurdle race was in a Grade 2 at Cheltenham, and he won it. And some trainers wouldn't even think about doing that, but sometimes.
Bobble Emerald, Cheltenham 33-1 in October. You know, he might have had better options. Other people would have said other places, but he loved it that day.
You just you got to be in it to win it sometimes, and you got to be brave.
But Martin also doesn't mind. Some owners are hands-on and really want to be looking through the form book and the programme book themselves, and you're very happy for them to help race plan and very open to that, aren't
if
you?
They want to get involved in that, it's fine. Yeah.
You mentioned Cheltenham, and you have become somewhat a Cheltenham specialist within 19 races, I think. At the course, what is it that makes you so good around Cheltenham, do you think?
We just seem to have very tough horses, which just seem to handle the track very well.
Not far to travel, maybe.
Yeah,
It's our local track.
That must help. The horses don't have to travel very far. We've got amazing gallops here that they would be. Well, we're very lucky. We've got a mile and a quarter grass gallops with an incline at the. I just don't know if it's a similar incline to Cheltenham. I don't know what it is, but they just. If they don't win there, they seem to always run very well. So it's just you need a lot of luck in this spot. We just seem to be very lucky there, and
to have all the support of all the locals.
Yeah, because we get such a following there because we're a local trainer.
Amazing.
That's why it's amazing buzz to have a winner there. But then when you've got other people supporting you as well, and it's
the roar when we walk in, even on a normal day. Somebody mentioned at the October meeting that it was, you know, a quiet enough day, but the roar when we had a double actually, the October 2017, and it was just fabulous, wasn't it? And they always put extra champagne on when Suzanne in the owner's room always knows to get trays of champagne because everyone piles in. It's a Keighley pile-in. Yeah. And in fact, one day we'd had a double, and dear old Ben Bainhead had bounced back 8 years after his initial win.
First win, yeah. Which was amazing.
He'd come
it was
back,
a graded race.
And he won on the same day as Annie Currency. We had a double that day in December. And we were singing There's Only One Martin Keighley really loudly, and Martin was a little bit embarrassed when he walked in. And Paul Carberry came in the jockey's room door, is at the back of the winner's room. They didn't know what was happening. They popped their heads around to see what the riot was in the winner's room. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Talking to jockeys, I do believe there's a special relationship you've got with Richard Johnson. Does that stem from your early days? Well,
he came to the Dukes as a kid in his school holidays, and the Duke rang me up one day and said, I've got a good lad coming from a good Herefordshire family, and he was staying with a girl a couple just outside the village that were great friends of ours, and he said he wondered if I could go and pick him up every day and bring him into the yard every morning during half term once, and so that was probably when he was 14, 15, and you got so he was a great mate of yours. All the lads in the yard were
so we've known him for years, and it's great we can still team up and have winners, and no, it's just great. He's, after AP finally retired, it just deserves to be a champion jockey, and what would be his third one coming up, and no, he really deserves that.
Such an ambassador for the sport. And he's ridden a winner for our racing club, and he gives each and every one of those the time. They have selfies, and it's like he's got all the time in the world. He's under no, and he just talks to them all like it's their individual horse. There's no side to him, no airs and grace. He's great with our kids. He is just a super guy, and he's fantastic.
Still have that motivation, and the rides he gives horses is just it's just brilliant.
Never see him in a bad mood, do you? And he just. He's just a top ambassador for our sport, I think.
We talked about the highs and the lows of horse racing. There, in your particular case, any Currency winning the cross-country race at the festival would have been a massive high, and then a massive low when you so cruelly got it taken away from you from what was really a technicality. How do you bounce back from a massive disappointment like that?
Yeah, that was very tough, because obviously that's my biggest ambition and dream, to have a Cheltenham Festival winner, and for any currency to go so close a good few times. And the year before I got beat a short head, and to finally do it was just absolutely amazing. And then I had the most horrendous phone call from the BHA, and it was as any currency was going around the parade ring for the April meeting after the festival. He was in the paddock, and they said, "Got some bad news for you. He's failed the dope test. Do you want to run him today?" And I said, "Well, my jockey's just come in the paddock. I need to speak to him." I said, "Can't understand what you're telling me, because we've done nothing wrong and we've got nothing to hide." And I said, the horse is going to run." And Julie went and won.
Over regulation fences as well that day.
Yeah, so that was strange. So I was in a state of shock watching him win again, and yeah, it's just very hard to take. And
we had another double that day as well, didn't we? And we couldn't tell anyone that what we just
won
heard.
that day as well. So yeah,
we just had to go through the motions.
Put a brave
that
face
day.
on, and yeah, it was tough, but they can't take the day away from us. And
the support we've had though,
yeah,
haven't we? Was amazing.
How do you think that horse racing is as a sport at the moment? Is it a healthy position, but can it do anything to improve its game?
The healthy side, I think, really pleased. There seems to be a lot more money coming into the prize money now, and the prize money is going further down to the place horses and down to 6 and 8s in some races. So for the low grade races, at least the owners are getting something back, even if you're not winning, and there's been a big difference in prize money, which needed to be. Downside again about the sport, do get frustrated. I know that I have a difficult job, the handicappers, but I do feel that we're trying to get owners involved in racing, and it's like you can win your races and then you don't win for a good few years after that. I just don't think that's a good side of the sport. There's
a few things that we just
yeah.
If they fall at the last and they're going to win, they haven't won. The owner hasn't won prize money. It hasn't paid for the day. So why penalise it by going up in the handicap as well?
At least
let it come out next time and
give
win.
it a chance to win. Don't.
It might have lost its confidence in that fall. It might not win next time. So then being penalised by that's a huge bugbear.
I don't think that should be allowed. It's just totally wrong.
But owners, they're starting to recognise that we really need owners, so they must be looked after much better at racecourses. We've also realised that we need to look after them even better, so we've got this lovely owners room, and there's so much more. We've got a visitors car park, so that they're not parked right down the end at the bottom of where all the lads and girls are parked. They've got their own car park. It's things like that racing are thinking through, and giving free lunches, and they should embrace that, and the staff as well. They're giving the lads at the races free food for the canteen, and some races courses are doing it better than others, but we couldn't do it without the lads and girls that lead up. So they're an important, but I know they're addressing all of this, and some of it takes money, and they're simplifying how partnerships are run through Weatherby's, and quite a lot of that's being simplified, because it is a minefield. It's so frightening, and I'm sure it puts off some potential owners when they ring up and try and register. There's just so much to think about when you're starting as a sole owner or a partnership. So I think they are addressing. I know there's a long way to go with quite a lot of it, but they're definitely doing well on addressing some of these issues.
Do you think syndicates should be more encouraged?
Yeah, I think it's a great way. We found from our racing club, in fact, that you can come in at £500 a year and have lots of fun, and then people feel more involved. They get to know us, and they might have lots of disposable income and think, actually, I want to be more involved. I want to have a leg in one or a sixth in one. And so we've had the step ladder model that we're using now. We have had people join our racing club, be a bit braver, and come and join a syndicate or a partnership, and have loved that. And some have gone on and bought one on their own. But I think they're super, because you meet like-minded people, and it makes it more affordable as well. You can have a few different horses in a few different syndicates rather than just all your eggs in one basket. So I definitely think it's the way forward.
So
The frustrating part of the sport can be, I know the handicappers have a difficult job, but I just feel like we're fighting a losing battle sometimes. They're very quick to go up, and then for an example, I've got a horse called Solstice Star. He was rated 94, he won 5 races, and he went up to I think nearly 140. Well, he hasn't won for 2 years now, and he's still higher than his last winning mark 2 years ago. And I just think they need to give, when a horse isn't, when the handicappers finally got to you, they need to give you a bigger chance and drop you down quicker, because this horse has gone 2 years without winning, and he's still higher than his last winning mark. And I think that's not right. That's unfair. And
Owners can't afford to keep paying those bills and not getting any return on them.
if I said to an owner, would you like to buy this horse? You'll win the first season, but then you won't win for another 2 years. Well, that's not going to encourage people into the sport, is it? It can get frustrating at times. And like we said, there's one rule: it shouldn't be allowed. And when a horse falls at the last when it's winning, I just think it's horrendous. They can put a horse up for falling. The owners come away with nothing on the day. At least let the horse come out and try and win again without trying to stop it from winning next time. But yeah, I know they've got a tough job, but it's frustrating at times. And these small fields, if you run close to a highly rated horse with a novice, you're petrified you're going to get a ridiculous mark. You're never going to win off it. It's tough.
So everyone moans that there are smaller fields, but
That's the reason
who's
why.
brave enough to run them and take the risk of a horse running an okay race and going up? Yeah.
okay, on the final question, on a more, well, hopefully people listen to that and there'll be some changes. But what if you could see yourselves in 5 years' time, ideally, where would you be as a business?
We're really keen to keep building on the numbers. Saying that, we don't want to get too big, but if we could average between 50 and 60 horses, I think that's a really good number.
In training at any one time.
In training, and just keep building the quality up, and we just want good quality horses. We can be competitive at the big meetings on Saturdays, and obviously big aim is to build a bigger string up for the Cheltenham Festival and the other festivals, Aintree and even Punchestown. But if we can get building forward on quality and that's our main objective.
And I'd quite like to keep building the quality of the team here, the human team as well, because we're so lucky to have a fantastic team. And we've the LICITs and the National Trainers Federation have brought in a team champion award that we've embraced, and it's going to be an ongoing thing to help retain staff and help give them a stepladder to the future, because all of the team aren't going to stay here forever. They are going to move around, but it's to improve the quality of the staff in racing and retain the staff in racing. And so we have instructors. We're going to continue to have instructors coming in from outside, the likes of Yogi Breisner and Richard Perham from the British Racing School has been up and trained them, because the better the riding ability of our team, the better the horses are going to go and the better they're going to perform on the track. And the happier the team here, I'm sure happy people make happy horses. So if we continue to have our fantastic team building and team meetings and just look after our team here, I just think it for the future of the business, it can only be a fantastic thing.
Yeah, now we're a limited company, and our chairman John Hughes, who's been involved in racing for a long time, is just his knowledge through the business side is just absolutely amazing, and he's got a lot of owners involved in the yard. He has plenty of horses himself, and it's just working really well. And yeah, we couldn't do it without people like that backing us.
And we've got some of our key owners have formed an owners forum to help look at the things that we can be doing better, and so they meet regularly and they're helping push us forward and it's the business knowledge that we haven't had from just starting in grassroots racing, but we haven't had the business side and the business experience behind us. So it's embracing all the owners and what they can bring to the table, and they seem to be happy to bring that and share
They're amazing.
share all their expertise, whatever it be it fantastic owner put the Brillare Mementos in and his new kitchen in, and just things like, so we're just taking all the help we can get, we're embracing it all, and with everybody's help, it is a wider team, not just our team that work for us full time, our owners and everything, and it is an actual massive team effort.
Then we're lucky we've got a very good yard sponsor, Ross Hemmings, and he does gallop surfaces and arenas.
Leisure Ride Group
they're called, and they've just put out amazing gallops in. We've got a circular loop we put in the summer, it's about 7 metres wide, so they canter around the inside. Then we've got jumps on the outside, so we can always school if the grass is frozen or too wet. It's been a massive asset to the yard, and we've got a mile all-weather gallop across where the grass gallops are, which is the same surface, a carpet fibre gallop, and it's an amazing surface and obviously very well maintained, and we get them re-waxed when they need to do and topped up, and so it's a very good sponsor to have in the yard, and the best surfaces for the horses as well. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much.